Hello everyone, hope all is well and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a 3 looks, 1 palette, and also a review on the Amrezy and ANASTASIA Beverly Hills palette. I got this morning. I was thrown off. I was like, why does this look so big? But they added an extra row, so now there's 16 instead of 14. But anyways, here is the palette. You get 6 mattes, you get 7 shimmers, 2 pressed glitters, and this satiny, more matte leaning one, but it still has a little bit of sheen. I don't know what they call this formula of theirs, but it has a little bit of a glow to it. That formula, questionable. So you get 4 different formulas in this palette, which is awesome. I'm gonna keep all of my thoughts and review at the end of this video. So before we get into the looks, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It would mean so much to me, and let's get to it. You guys are gonna be so excited. I finally dipped into some purples. I'm gonna first dip into this one right here, Semsa. This shade kind of reminds me of Love Letter from the Modern Renaissance, just a little bit more purple. And I'm just going to apply it with this Fenty 210 blending brush. And I'm just gonna work this into the crease. And then I'm going to pick up some of that on this Smith 230 brush and just kind of build that up a little bit more, focusing on the outer corner and bringing whatever's left on that brush towards the inner corner just to build up subtle definition. And then with that same brush, I'm going to start building it out on the outer corner. Actually, I'm going to take a smaller brush to do that. This is the Dose of Colors brush. And then I'm also gonna just start putting that on the lower lash line as well, just to get that angle. Now with my finger, I'm gonna go into Cupcake, which is a nice lavender shimmer shade. And I'm just gonna pat that onto the center of my lid. And then patting the edges out, just making sure that they're nice and blended and they melt into the matte seamlessly. And then I'm gonna take the shade Barb, which is a really pretty color. It's like a duochrome. It has like a soft pinkness to it, and then the reflect is like a really intense teal. It's kind of neat. So I'm gonna put that in the inner portion of the lid. And I did wet my brush with the Dewy Set from ABH just because I wanted it to be a touch more impactful. And I also used that as my inner corner highlight while I was right here. And I'm just gonna, while I have that on my brush, I'm just gonna carry it to the lower lash line. And then I'm just gonna wipe this brush off on a towel and then go straight into that Cupcake shade again. And cover that bridge right here. And now I'm gonna focus on the outer corner once again, and I'm gonna take a mixture of Yugo and BK, and I'm going to build that up just for some depth. I'm just gonna go quickly add some mascara, and the first look is complete. Here is the first eye look all complete. I think my favorite part about it is that Barb shade I put in the inner portion, just because it kind of reminds me of a mermaid, I think. I always am super drawn to those shades that are kind of like a pinky base with a teal shift. It's like mermaid scales, I love it. I'm just praying that this didn't stain my eyelids because it stained all my brushes. I paired this eye look with the Nude Sticks Lip Glacé in the shade Nude 02. I thought just because it had those cool pink undertones, it'd match the purples, and I think it did. But now let's move on to the second look. For the second look, I'm using all the neutrals, and I freaking love how this eye look turned out, so I'm gonna show you how I achieved it. So the first shade I went into, I kind of mistakenly dipped into 2 by accident. New Yorker and OG. I'm not gonna attempt a New York accent, so I'm sorry you guys. But they're like identical. One's just a little bit more yellowy, but on the eye, they look identical. I wish they would have put like maybe a cool tone transition shade in here just to divvy that up a little bit more, because they're practically identical. So I'm gonna take OG with a Melt 818 brush, and I'm just gonna blend this into the crease. I have glitter all over my face from that Barb shade. Next, I took the Dose of Colors brush once again, and I took 1988 Steve. Oh, Steve found the catnip. So I'm going to take that 1988 shade, just a touch of that, and I'm going to place that in the inner corner since I'm doing a little bit of a halo eye. And I don't want it to be super intense, and I'm just going to really focus on blending every edge of this. And using the same brush, I'm just going to take Yugo again, and I'm just going to take that on the outer corner. This is a blank canvas E10 brush, and I'm just kind of softening the edges of that shade, kind of bringing it up into the crease just for more definition. With the Dose of Colors brush, I'm just gonna start working on the lower lash line as well, since I'm working with that shade already. And I might even deepen it up with a touch of BK, which is the black shade, just to even bring more smoke and depth to the outer corner. I was trying to go for a softer look, but then these shadows were a little bit deeper than I was expecting. So I just decided to go full smoke, but are we surprised? And now I'm going to go back to 1988 with the same brush and just add it to the inner portion here. And same thing, just really making sure both sides are very soft. Almost said smoft. And then I'm going to take my finger and go into Georgina and place that in the center of the top and bottom. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Dragon, which is like a little bit more of a yellow gold. It's not my favorite gold shadow just because it's a touch too yellow, but I'm going to press that right above the lashes, just right there. I'm not going to bring it all the way up. I just want a little bit more of a pop of something different. And I'm going to dampen this Smith 253 brush just for precision on the lower lash line so I don't get shimmer shades in my eyeballs. And I'm taking that more bronzy shade first. As I said that, I just got a bunch of shimmer shade in my eyeball, so great. And just wipe it off slightly, go back into Dragon, and place it right on top again. And that is it. I'm gonna add some mascara, so I will be right back. Here is the final look with just mascara, and honestly you could totally recreate this look if you already have soft glam. I'm just gonna go quickly add some lashes because I'm curious to see what it looks like with lashes. Oh, and I forgot one last step. I put Anastasia as the inner corner, so I just applied that with my finger. Here is the final eye look. I do love me a good smoky neutral eye look, but I do think you could create this with a lot of the Anastasia palettes, especially like Soft Glam or even the Alyssa Edwards palette. Just anything that has the browns and like a shimmery, bronzy, goldy shimmer. You could totally achieve this look. I don't think this look is unique to the palette. I just wanted to test out these neutrals and they are the same as every other Anastasia palette. Nonetheless, I do really love how it turned out, and I really hope this look inspires you to use whatever you have in your drawers as well. But now I'm going to zoom you guys out and show you the lip I would pair with this look. Here is the look zoomed out. I decided to pair this look with this lipstick right here. It's from BH Cosmetics. It's the Cashmere Cream. It just goes with these warm toned smoky eyes. It's one of my go-tos. I really like it. But now it's time to move on to the third and final look. For this third look, by the way, I changed because I was getting way too sweaty in that sweater. I have no idea what I want to do for the third look, just because I know it's going to look kind of similar to my last one, because I'm going to have to use the same couple mattes to round out one of the shimmers. I did want to swatch the glitters for you just because I know a lot of people are excited about them. And honestly, I'm not a pressed glitter fan. I'm not really a glitter fan, to be honest. I don't know why. But here are the two glitters swatched right here. I'm just gonna swatch them. They're very patchy. I was also comparing them to like the ColourPop pressed glitters, but the ColourPop ones are so much more smooth and even compared to the Anastasia ones. I don't know. Maybe because maybe ColourPop put a base shadow on these ones. I'm not sure. I'm gonna swatch a few other actually. And I'm just going to see, still more even than the Anastasia ones. I'm not really experienced in the, oh, this one is so pretty. This is Hungry Ghost from this Peach palette. Holy moly, is that ever stunning. But the thing with glitters is I don't like them because I find them to be quite risky once they get in the eye. Oh my goodness, that is so stunning. I wish I could put that on the eye, but they're just not really safe for the eye because the glitter, if it falls into the eye, there's a risk that it could cut your eye. I know they don't use like cosmetic safe glitter, I believe that's what it is, but this one I'm sure that they do. And the thing that I don't like about having pressed glitters in palettes like this is because they don't act like shimmers or anything, so they don't really stay put into the pan as nicely. I didn't put really much pressure in there, but it still overlaps over the sides of the pan, and then it gets all over all the other colors, and then it's just like a glittery palette. So I'm not a fan of the pressed glitters. I think since my last two looks were a little bit more on the bold side, I want to try kind of like a more everyday quick look. I'm gonna first dip into New York. I don't know how to do a New York accent, so please feel free to roast me in the comments down below, but I prefer you not because I'm sensitive. I'm gonna take that on a Smith 232 and I'm gonna blend that into the crease. And then I'm going to take some of the 1988 shade and kind of blend that on the outer corner. I'm just going to bring that a little bit more onto the lid, and then I'm gonna also bring that on the lower lash line, just on the outer portion. My eyes are starting to get really irritated. That's okay. And then I'm gonna take that transition shade once again and kind of finish this portion off. And then which shimmer should I put? I mean, I could use the blue, but I don't really want to. Pretty cute. It's a cute blue. But I'm going to use Anastasia because it's one of those pretty shades that's kind of like pink and gold at the same time. I haven't used one of those in a really long time, so I want to try that out. And then that's it. I'm also just gonna bring that a little bit into the inner corner as well. I'm just gonna add some mascara, catch this eye up to speed, and I'll be right back. And here is the third and final look. Just a soft, quick and easy eye look, since the last two were a little bit more out there. But now I'm gonna quickly zoom you guys out, show you what lip I paired with it, and then I'll move on to my final thoughts about the palette. Here's the look zoomed out. I decided to pair this look with the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fussy. So now moving on into my final thoughts about this palette. I think it is a very beautiful palette. It's just not the most unique to the brand. I feel like this is a combo of soft glam, modern renaissance, Riviera, maybe even like a little bit of the Norvina, the first, like the smaller palette. That a little bit in there too. It's just kind of like a highlight reel of all the palettes they've come out with in the last year or so. I think they've come out with like 8 palettes in the last 4 months. Like, it's getting a little insane. For the ABH palette collectors, are you guys okay? Are you guys okay? How you guys doing? I personally don't like how they added pressed glitters. I think they're very messy. If I'm wanting a glittery look, I'll usually go to like a liquid formula, like the Stila ones or the Urban Decay liners. Something that has a little bit more of a binding situation that's gonna stick. These just like kind of float around. You'd still need to go in with a glue to get it to stay all day. So for that reason, I'm not a fan. And I'm sorry if you do love glitter, it's just not for me. I do really wish that they would have replaced one of these shadows because they look identical when they're on the eye. I wish that they would have swapped it out for maybe like a cooler toned shadow, because I think that would bring a lot more looks to be created from this palette. Then you could use that cool tone shadow with this one and the blue, then that would tie in that kind of a situation, or like even with the pinks and purples, that would look really good. It just feels a little bit mixed matched. I guess if you didn't have the Norvina, Modern Renaissance, Riviera, I don't know, whatever other palette that this looks like, maybe this one would be a good one to pick up if you don't have all those other ones, because it is, like I said earlier, like a highlight reel of all those palettes. I think for me, this isn't my favorite launch, obviously. I think my favorite palette from ABH has been the Jackie Aina palette. That one is just so good and so well curated. ABH is just getting really predictable, I think. You can always expect a purple, a bronzy gold shade. You can expect browns that look the same in each palette. And they also add these pops of colors to kind of throw you off guard or blind you from the fact that pretty much all the palettes look the same. For example, this palette, they added this shade and a little bit of this shade just to kind of throw you off. To be honest, I wouldn't fully recommend it just because I know that I won't personally be using it too much, I don't think. I did get rid of my Modern Renaissance, Soft Glam, Riviera, Norvina palettes, so maybe I will keep this one around since I don't really have those shades anymore. The formulation in the mattes and the shimmers are still good. I don't super love the glitters, but if you are super drawn to the color combination and if you are a big supporter of Amrezy, then I would say go for it if you're willing to spend that much. It doesn't feel like it's going to be like a standout product in my collection, if that makes sense. I just feel kind of about this palette, so that's my honest opinion. It's okay if yours is different. We all have different opinions, but that's mine. But that wraps up my review on this palette. Just before I go, I just wanted to quickly say that all of my looks, I feel like you could pull shades from your collection that you already have. So I challenge you to go into your collection and pull out those palettes that haven't gotten the love that they deserve, and maybe you could create a very similar look to this one if you're not going to pick this one up. But anyways, that is all from me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video was inspiring and helpful. If you did, please give this video a like. It would help me out so much. Also, let me know what videos you'd like to see in the year of 2020. But anyways, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!